Hey everyone, RedyTay here again, back at it with another solo Pokemon challenge. Beating Pokemon Red with a single Vulpix dealt with relying on status conditions and literal firepower to pull off wins, while not being strong defensively. Well, this challenge will be sticking with that trend where we will be fast and hard hitting, while also being a little bit on the fragile side. Today we are going to see if you can beat Pokemon FireRed with a single Scyther. Scyther was one of my favorite Pokemon growing up. It was just cool looking. I mean, it's a freaking giant bug with sword hands. What's not to like? The problem was I didn't get to use it a lot growing up because it was hard to get in earlier games. That and bug types didn't really get a lot of love then either due to their type matchup and lack of good bug moves that were available. I was originally going to do this challenge in a Generation 1 game, but I ultimately changed my mind due to the fact that the last two challenges were done in Generation 1. I wanted a change of scenery. And back then Scyther would critical hit a lot due to its base speed. Well, when they remade the game, they leveled out that crit rate, so this is going to be a more honest display of Scyther's attack power. All that being said, stat-wise, attack and speed are clearly Scyther's bread and butter. I wish our health was better, but at least our defense and special defense are the same and decent. Look, they could be better, but they could also be much worse. We are a 500 base stat Pokemon. We are better than the starters here. My main gripe is that our special attack stat is so low because I hate a predominantly physical attacker, which is because we are weak to a lot of special types. Scyther's type combination is weird because we are resistant to types I don't really care about, and our weaknesses can be pretty prevalent in this game. Being weak to flying, rock, fire, electric, and ice is a brutal list here. Going back to the fact we are a physical attacker, our moveset matches that. I am not a fan of this list. None of these moves are extremely hard hitting, and the fact that we are starting with quick attack, with our next learned attacking move having a matching 40 power is brutal. Maybe our team list is better? Okay, not terrible, but we have seen better. I feel like Return and Steel Wing are probably the best options here, but enough about that, this intro is getting long. Before jumping in, let's review the rules. I can only use Scyther throughout the whole game. Ancient Pokemon can be used so I can still get around. No cheats or hacks can be used to advance, and I'm going to follow the trend where no items can be used in the battles, only held items given to Scyther before the battle starts. I'm kinda expecting a lot of grinding in this run, especially at the start, because Brock is going to be an absolute brick wall. I got discouraged some when I noticed how weak we would be at the start. Well, let's jump in and face it head on then. So we're starting the game just like we have in the last few challenges, getting stopped by Professor Oak, and being taken back to the lab and given the chance to pick our first Pokemon. This time in color though, so that's refreshing. I used the Pokemon randomizer to switch Bulbasaur out for Scyther so our opponent will have Charizard by the end of the game. I named Scyther Tenant because for a sword in hand, it's a fighting hand. Yeah, that might be a little bit of a stretch, but roll with it. I have linked nicknames to Pokemon with worse. If anything, they both definitely have the cool factor going for them. Tenant has a modest nature, which means he has increased special attack and decreased attack, which is a really pointless nature. Pretty much all of our move pool is based on physical attacks. Hopefully this doesn't hamper us too much. His ability is Swarm, which raises our attack power for bug moves when our health is low. We probably will rarely ever use this, and if we do, it will probably be solely for Fury Cutter. For the time being, we only have Quick Attack and Leer, so that effect isn't going to be of much help for a while. Stat-wise is basically what we were expecting, with us having a good stat on attack, defense, and speed, while our special stats are lower. Not much to report here with our first rival battle of the game. He barely makes Charmander attack us while we are just spamming quick attack. Yeah, Charmander goes down soon enough. Well, we do have to get some levels for the rematch outside of Viridian. Charmander will be stronger and our rival will now have Pidgey, which is another thing a bug type should be afraid of. We grind to level 10 and yeah, I was really overestimating how strong our rival is. Pidgey does hit us with a dreaded sand attack, but we just spam quick attack during the whole battle. What surprised me was neither Pidgey or Charmander used a super effective move against us. Do they not have a flying or fire move to use? Huh, Pidgey has Gust and our rival didn't think it was worth a try. Whatever, we won and we got some more experience out of it. We need as much as we can get because we have a bigger problem ahead of us, Brock. Don't get me wrong, our next rival could very well be brutal, but Brock is much more of a problem at the moment. So while we are moving through the Viridian Forest and battling every trainer, let's assess the situation. Well, we are really between a rock and a hard place, pun intended, when it comes to Brock. We are 4 times weak to rock moves, and this is Generation 3, where his Pokemon actually have rock moves, unlike Generation 1. To add insult to injury, we are not going to be learning any moves that will be useful in this situation. We are such a physical attacker, and his team is totally made for that kind of offense thanks to their defense. We basically have no choice but to grind to a high enough level to just overpower them. I think I heard the AI will only use Rock Tomb if it knows your Pokemon is close to fainting. I hope that's true because I almost feel like if we get hit by that move, we will probably just be one shot. We need to get lucky in spamming Leer while not having our opponents buff their defense stat or hit us hard with rock moves. With that being said, I still think we aren't ready for Brock. Well, we're now at level 13, so let's see how we look at level 15 and go from there. Well, we had a really good start here against Geodude. Sure, we are wasting time here going back and forth lowering and raising its defense, but once we kind of win that exchange by lowering it with close to 6 Leers, our quick attacks are doing better than its tackles and it soon goes down while we are still in the green. Next is Onix. And we get one shot by Rock Tomb. How often does he choose that move? I'm not 100% sure, but the next attempt ended the same way with Rock Tomb from Onix just as soon as it comes out. I know level 20 might not be the level we can one-shot Onix, but let's see how it looks. Okay, level 20 and things are shaping up a little better. We are sticking with Leer to start with Geodude, and luckily it doesn't really bother raising its defense with Defense Curl and just uses Tackle. Yeah, I know it's kind of weird to be thankful for taking damage turn after turn, but Tackle really isn't hitting that hard, and we switched the offensive sooner thanks to all this successive Leers. Pursuit is hitting hard now in this setup, and Geodude goes down soon enough. This is the best situation we have been in when it comes to battling Brock. Onix is now back, and we aren't going to even bother trying to lower its defense. We just need to hit as hard as we can and fast. Pursuit is still doing pretty good here. And even more surprising is Rock Tomb isn't hitting as hard as I was expecting. We are now at half health, and yeah, our speed stat is lowered, but I think we are going to be okay. Onix survives another pursuit, but it also misses Rock Tomb. What a lucky break. We use one more pursuit, and Onix goes down. And I'm not sure if we needed to grind exactly to level 20 to pull that off, but that went much smoother than our previous attempts. The level lead was nice to have when it comes to getting through Mount Moon. No one we battled here was a real threat. The hikers we battle might have rock types, but none of them used the scary rock move, and Pursuit is still doing really good despite being a 40 power move. I thought we would run out of usable attacks and would have to use an escape rope, get back to a Poké Center to heal up and go back through the whole path again, but surprisingly we had more than enough quick attacks and pursuits to get through. We do use False Swipe some, but you can't knock out Pokemon with that move, so it kind of feels wasteful using it. Like I said, we got through Mount Moon easy enough, and before you know it, we are running towards Cerulean with a Dome Fossil in our backpack. I'm going to go ahead and jump to battling Misty. We still have a good level lead going, I feel like, and I'm hoping Pursuit will help us start me. Well, 2 quick attacks take Staryu out easily, but Pursuit isn't hitting as hard as I was hoping. Water Pulse, however, is hitting harder than I thought it would. The added confusion isn't helping much either. I was able to get some Leers out to lower Starmie's defense, but the last pursuit we landed before going down didn't even look like there was a drop at all. Hey, video editing RedyTay here. I can't believe I have to say this for a second video in a row, but I misused Leer. I totally forgot dark type moves are special in this generation. Doesn't make sense why they are, but here we are with me trying to lower Starmie's defense just to hit it with a special attack. Again, really dumb on my part. Okay, sorry, back to the video. Well, let's see if things go better in the second attempt. Okay, it took several attempts. I wasted a lot of attempts trying to get Leers and to get a defense drop before switching to the offensive. Meanwhile, Starmie is just spamming Water Pulse, and we are lucky if we get one attack before we go down. Dang confusion damage. From here I decided to take a page out of Misty's playbook before I start grinding. So when Starmie is out, we just spam Pursuit. Yeah, it's not the most foolproof plan, but it stops Starmie from spamming Water Pulse. So it's spamming Recover instead, and Misty heals it with a Super Potion, but we are hanging in there. Barely. Yeah, the confusion damage is popping up some, and I'm getting nervous if we can even hang on for the win. That critical hit was extremely needed there. Yeah, that was close, but this battle is probably going to look a lot better than the one we were going to have with our rival. Actually, I was completely wrong here. 2 quick attacks takes out Pidgeotto. We do take an accuracy drop from Sand Attack, but we were off to a good start. Our rival decides to go straight to his big gun by sending Charmander out. We just learned Wing Attack, so let's see how it fares here. Nice. Well, from here, Pursuit finishes Abra quickly, and this battle would have been a no-hit sweep if we didn't miss our quick attack against RedyTay. We survived that tackle, and then beat our rival in a battle I thought was going to be more of a challenge. Well, let's see if Tenet continues to surprise me on the SSN. Well, we just got slashed on the way to the SSN, and it is already proven to be the best move we have at the moment. It one-shots Pidgeotto early, and almost does the same to Charmeleon. It does respond with a growl, so it went down with us still at full health. Even though Slash goes back to one-shotting Raticate, I decide to switch to Pursuit for Kadabra. It doesn't take it out, but again our rival uses up his turn by using a move to buff his Pokemon stats, so we finish Kadabra off soon enough and have another surprisingly easy battle against our rival. Even though the type matchup isn't in our favor, let's see if we can keep this success rolling as we battle Lieutenant Surge. I got a good feeling about this. Well, Voltorb and Pikachu are both one-shots with Slash. The problem is we got paralyzed from Pikachu's static ability when we took it out. From there we go down slowly from Raichu. I say slowly because he could have took us out in 3 turns if Surge just stuck with Shockwave. Instead he spams Double Team some, and with our horrible paralysis luck we wasted several turns while we tried to knock Raichu out with Slash. That was horrible luck. But if we don't get paralyzed by static, then we should be able to pull off this win. Our second attempt dealt with us not being paralyzed from static, so we outspeed and one-shot all of Lieutenant Surge's team with Slash. Hey, 2 attempts against the Electric Gym still seems like we were on a roll. I'm excited for our upcoming battle between our rival and Erica, but we have to get through Rock Tunnel first. Actually, going through Rock Tunnel was really easy, considering none of the hikers, Geodudes, or Gravelers used self-destruct on us. This is another place where we were running out of good attacking moves by the time we get through it though. False Swipe is still not really much use at the moment, and Wing Attack as well as Slash are the way to go for most of our opponent's Pokemon. I'm saving Pursuit against the Hikers Rock types because it is the only move we have that isn't resisted by them. Yeah, it's still a weak move, but it's still useful in these situations. I wish we had a better replacement though, but at the moment, there really isn't any. We get to Lavender Town soon enough, which means we have another rival battle to do. We are at level 40, and yeah, that is still a sizable level lead, which is probably part of the reason we can still one-shot Pidgeotto with Slash. Charmeleon is next up, and it does survive a Slash. It lowers our accuracy with Smokescreen. Regardless, we land another Slash for the knockout. Execute is a one-shot with Wing Attack. We do miss a Slash when Kadabra comes out and responds with a Kinesis, which lowers our accuracy even more. We do land a Slash from there though, so it does quickly go down. Last out is Gyarados, which I forgot has the Intimidate ability. We are a 100% physical hitter, so this is going to be annoying for all of our future rival battles. We miss another Slash, but its Thrashes aren't really doing much, so 2 Slashes are all we need to win that battle. Okay, we have been having a pretty good grip on handling these rival battles. I wonder how long that will last. Maybe in Silphco? Before that though, we should kick Team Rocket out of the game corner, and before that, we have to battle Erica. But of course, this battle is probably not going to be worth mentioning. We are at a higher level, we are obviously faster, and I am going to be extremely surprised if we lose while spamming Wing Attack. Yeah, that. Okay, well let's battle some Rocket Grunts. They can't really do anything to us here since we are so fast and can basically one-shot everything here. Only problem is we got paralyzed from a glare from Arbok right before facing Giovanni. We don't have a paralyzed heal, so we will see how things look while we have this status condition. Onix is faster than us, but even this Rock Throw isn't dealing a lot of damage here. We need several pursuits here, but we aren't in any real danger. Rhyhorn is still slower than us, even with us being paralyzed, but it hardly does anything to us and we stick with Pursuit. Last out's Kangaskhan, and yeah, we are at half health here, and finally get affected by paralysis, but it also goes down soon enough. Let's go back to the Pokemon Tower so we can get the Pokeflute and advance in getting the second half of the badges. Despite having half of our moveset being normal moves, we have an easy enough time dealing with the ghosts here, thanks again to Pursuit. Seriously, I didn't think I'd be loving this move as much as I do in this run. It's a weak dark move, but it has its uses. Am I going to be using it throughout the whole run? I don't know, let's see. False Swipe though has finally reached its end though. We get to the level that we can learn Fury Cutter, and I was not going to pass up this move, so goodbye False Swipe. I am a little bummed though we are losing it because I wanted to use it against one of the Snorlaxes so I could catch it, but hey, I didn't want to keep it past that. Well, we catch a Snorlax easy enough, and we are reminded that Snorlax isn't holding leftovers when you catch it. Yeah, the item finder. Oh, and Scyther still can't learn Fly. I get why Generation 1 didn't allow it since Generation 1 is just weird and inconsistent, but Generation 3 remake should be correcting the mistakes Generation 1 had. This seems like a mistake Generation 3 should have easily corrected. Anyway, I digress. We have a battle against Koga coming up. Don't know what to expect here, but at least we aren't weak to poison in this generation. Hey, that's something the remix fixed at least. So against Koga, we quickly realized just how tanky his team is against our attacks. Coughing isn't a one-shot, but goes down. Actually, Muck would go down too if it didn't raise its defense and evasion, and Koga healing it with a Hyper Potion. While we spent some time trying to get Muck back down to low health, we then get poisoned by Toxic, and we are having terrible luck trying to land a hit on it. Yeah, we go down soon enough. Okay, well we do have the team for Aerial Ace, which is just as strong as Weakening Attack, and it never misses, so this might be our way to win. Second run goes much better. Anytime we are in an opportunity to have moves miss, we switch to Aerial Ace. The only problem is we get poisoned from the first Coughing's Toxic right out of the gate of the battle, so even though we have some decent HP, we don't have enough to last the whole battle. It was a similar story with the attempts after that one. Even if we get normal poison and not toxic poison, we still won't last, and that's especially true if Weezing decides to use self-destruct. Well, we do have some options here. I could go ahead and get the number of Pokemon needed for us to get the item finder so we can get leftovers. I don't expect the healing from leftovers to be enough to offset the poison damage we accrue, but every little bit helps. We can also go old school and skip all this, go to Saffron and get some extra levels while in Silph Co, battling our rival in Sabrina. I'm going to catch some Pokemon at the Safari Zone and then go to Saffron to complete that storyline. I really didn't think Koga was going to stall us this bad. Okay, so I went to some of the other routes outside of the Safari Zone, but I eventually got 30 Pokemon and the item finder, which means we now have leftovers. Let's see if we can beat Koga here. We should be able to outlast them a little better than we have. I mean, we do outlast them, but regardless, being hit with Toxic and having Muck use Acid Armor and Minimize is still a timed recipe for disaster. We give it another try, and our luck is mounting when we critical hit one-shot the Coughing to start the battle. Slash does its normal amount with Muck, but since it attacks us with Sludge, I feel confident in Slash not missing. Another critical hit. Another Coughing, which means getting hit by another Sludge. We take it out with 2 slashes, not critical hit slashes, just normal slashes. Well, we have great health here, and easily the best spot we have had so far in this time against Weezing. Slash still isn't hitting hard here because, like we said, Weezing is tanky, but Sludge is a boring move by this point, so we are still okay. Another Slash takes Weezing to yellow health, and we are having even more luck with Toxic missing. Actually, I take that back. The real luck here is us having that clutch critical hit Slash right after it takes Weezing out. That was a great way to wrap up the battle. Okay, well, time for Silph Co and another rival battle, but before jumping into that, we get to level 50 while fighting some rocket grunts, so let's take a look. Honestly, I really like these stats. The only thing I would like to improve is Tenet's special defense. I love the HP, the speed, the attack, and the defense has been surprising me in a lot of these battles. We have been able to take more hits than I was expecting. Yeah, that special attack is abysmal compared to the rest of our stats, but also, if you haven't noticed, we don't have any special attacks, so we're good. I think we're at a point where we can give this rival battle a chance, so let's do it. Okay, so Pidgeotto isn't a problem per se. We aren't one-shotting it, like we have the majority of these battles, but at the same time, its wing attack is super effective and still not doing much. Charizard, though, he finally has big boy fire moves. We are in the low 40s health-wise after a flamethrower, and our slashes are not really a solution at the moment. Next attempt, we critical hit slash Pidgeotto, and Charizard slows us down and messes with our accuracy with Scary Face and Smokescreen, while we are sticking with Slash. I thought by this point we could take a flamethrower and still knock it out with another Slash, but nope. One shot loss right there. Okay, it took several more attempts here, but I did eventually come to the conclusion that Slash against Charizard is not the answer here. Switch to Aerial Ace instead. Pidgeotto is still being subjected to 2 slashes here, and yeah, we take some damage from a wing attack, but like I said, 2 Aerial Aces is all that is needed to take Charizard out. It did deal a lot of damage with Flamethrower, but this is one of the attempts where we survived with 30 something HP remaining. We also got slowed some from its Scary Face it did earlier, but it is a better debuff than a lowered accuracy from Smokescreen. The damage range from Flamethrower is crazy. Good thing is from here we can heal up some from leftovers while we one-shot Execute and Alakazam with Aerial Ace. All that is left is Gyarados, and its Intimidate ability is concerning here, but Aerial Ace still takes it to half health despite the lowered attack. Bite doesn't do a lot, but Gyarados is still hanging on with its liver from another Aerial Ace, so we aren't done yet. I am thankful for leftovers here because we have now healed up enough to survive a set damage Dragon Rage. If we would have had the same amount of health left over from that flamethrower, we would have lost right there. But no, we are still standing in the red here, which gives us a chance to use one more Aerial Ace for the win. Jeez, maybe I've been putting too much faith on Slash. Yeah, the high critical hit chance is nice, but Aerial Ace is kind of proving to be our best move. I mean, it is stab, so I guess that makes sense. I might have to resort to it when it comes to Sabrina, but what I really want to see is how far Fury Cutter can get us. But real quick, let's battle Giovanni and then try to get that Mars badge. Okay, so this might be a bit surprising, but we lose. Yeah, I figured we wouldn't be able to get out of this battle with Tenet not being poisoned thanks to Nidorino's poison point, so that didn't help. But I also wasted a turn by hitting Rhyhorn with weak Aerial Ace. Its Rock Blast hits us like a freight train considering we are at low health, and that was only 2 hits. We luckily beat it, but we can't last long by the time Kangaskhan is out. Let's see if we have better luck on the second attempt. Okay, it actually took several attempts, again due to being poisoned and Rhyhorn's Rock Blast. We eventually get an attempt where we get Nidorino out and we aren't poisoned, just to get hit by a critical hit Rock Blast. Yeah, that sucked too. The very next attempt goes the same way with Nidorino going down and we are still not poisoned. Okay, let's see if we have better luck with Rhyhorn here. Still sticking with Pursuit here, of course. Missing Fury Attack is nice, but also it wouldn't hurt us that bad to begin with. It takes a few more turns to knock out Rhyhorn, and it was only able to hiss with Stomp before going down. I'm not really scared about our lowered speed from Scary Face. Being at full health when Kangaskhan comes out is refreshing, and Aerial Ace takes it to almost half health. Another one takes it to a sliver while Kangaskhan is wasting everyone's time by using Rage. Yeah, soon goes down from there. All that is left is Nidoqueen, and it is faster than us here. Huh, maybe that Scary Face did matter. Well, it lowers our defense with Tail Whip, and our Pursuit isn't doing a whole lot, so this isn't the best start. Sticking with another Pursuit was kinda stupid looking back at it. We don't get poisoned from a Poison Sting, but get poisoned immediately after thanks to Nidoqueen's Poison Point. At least Slash hit hard there. We take very little damage from a Body Slam while our Slash takes Nidoqueen to red. One more Poison Sting from her and we soon take it out. While Silph was actually more of a challenge than I thought it would be, I think we built a good amount of false confidence leading up to this point. We are hitting hard, but I think our opponents are quickly catching up to us and we might have to rethink our game plan when it comes to some of our opponents coming down the pipe. Blaine and Giovanni might actually be problems here, but for the time being let's see if we can get by battling Sabrina. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm hoping we can build up some power with our super effective Fury Cutter. The first one takes Kadabra to deep red health, but it sets up a Reflect and our next Fury Cutter misses. So much for a power buildup. For those of you who don't know, Fury Cutter is basically a bug type version of Rollout. The more time the move hits in succession, the more powerful it gets. Sabrina also heals Kadabra to full health, so we are basically starting all over. We start our new Fury Cutter streak, it uses a Calm Mind, but we land the next Fury Cutter and the extra power here is enough for the knockout. Next is Venomoth, which resists Fury Cutter. I tried to see how much damage that move would still do since we could still build a streak here. Yeah, that's not good at all. Well, time to break the streak again, especially since we are confused from Supersonic. We take some damage from Confusion and a Side Beam, but when we do land an Aerial Ace, it's strong enough for one shot. Well, back to building up Fury Cutter. I mean, after we take more Confusion damage, sheesh. Fury Cutter is back to almost taking out half of our opponent's health when we start it back up. Mr. Mime sets up a barrier, so we will see how this all stacks up. Well, it still survives another Fury Cutter here, which means we are going to be hit from another Side Beam. Sabrina annoyingly heals Mr. Mime up with a Hyper Potion, but another Fury Cutter takes it back to where it was before it was healed up. Of course, from here, our next Fury Cutter misses because of course it does, and Mr. Mime uses a Baton Pass to have Alakazam now out. Well, we are still sticking with Fury Cutter here. It says super effective, but that really isn't a lot of damage. Its Sidekick takes us to yellow health, so things are looking a little scary here. Next Fury Cutter takes Alakazam to yellow health, so things are now looking a little more even. Sabrina thinks Future Sight is the best move here because, sure. Next Fury Cutter takes Alakazam out, Easy, and the same can be said for the next one since all we have left to face is the weak Mr. Mime. Look, we didn't even get hit by Future Sight. Well, the way this game has been rolling out lately, that right there might very well have been the last easy gym battle we have for the rest of the game. Blaine usually plays stupid in Generation 1, but this is Generation 3. I like to think he's gotten a little smarter since then. So just for some extra help with this upcoming battle, I went ahead and quickly sweeped the fighting, quote, gym, end quote, and Saffron, the trainers on the sea route between Pallet Town and Cinnabar, and any trainers I saw in the Pokemon Mansion. By the time we get done with those areas, we are at level 57, and I decide that we will battle all the trainers at the fire gym instead of answering the riddles. We all know I would have aced them anyway. By the time we were actually getting around to facing Blaine, Tenet is now at level 58, and doing pretty good all things considered. We are just spamming Aerial Ace since it doesn't miss and it is stab. It does one-shot Growlithe, but not Ponyta. But that's okay since Blaine is wasting his Hyper Potions, better that he does that here, not later, and Fire Blast isn't hitting that hard. That and we are healing some here from leftovers. It soon goes down and we go through a similar exchange with Rapidash, but we still come out on top, albeit in yellow health. But with Arcanine now out, we have now been exposed to 2 Intimidates, which means we have quite the attack drop on our hands. Aerial Ace probably isn't even doing a quarter amount of damage to Arcanine's health here. It misses its first Fire Blast, but do we really think we can accomplish anything here with an extra turn? We get Arcanine to half health, but then go down to a Fire Blast. Okay, I'm going to grind to level 60 real quick and then assess where we really are when it comes to facing Blaine. Yeah, 60 doesn't make much of a difference. Well, I guess we're going to be grinding. Maybe level 70 honestly. We don't have much we can do here strategy-wise. We need more attack power, especially since we are being dealt 2 Intimidates that lower our attack stat. We can't really learn any good special attacks, and even if we could, our special attack stat is the worst one out of the whole bunch. Oh no, Blaine is going to make the thumbnail for this video, isn't he? I never really thought I'd see the day. Well, we have a lot of trainers we have skipped so far that we can still battle. Let's see how this session goes. Thanks to the Versus Seeker and the Cycling Road, we get to level 70 easy enough, and before you know it, we are back in front of Blaine. From here, we can easily one-shot Growlithe and Ponyta. Rapidash isn't a one-shot, but we take the Fire Blast better and ultimately finish Rapidash soon after. Arcanine still finishes us with Fire Blast. We hit harder here with Aerial Ace, but we still can't hold up enough to finish Arcanine with 2 hits. I give it another go here before saying we need to grind, and Growlithe and Ponyta go down just like the previous run. Rapidash easily falls into red health from an Aerial Ace, and we luckily dodge a Fire Blast. From here, Blaine spends some turns healing Rapidash up with Hyper Potions, while we keep spamming Aerial Aces, eventually taking it down. We are still at full health against Arcanine, but that quickly changes when his Fire Blast takes out over 110 of our HP. Aerial Ace from us did about 1/3 of his health and damage. We are still in this though, if we can just get Fire Blast to miss. Come on, please miss. Or have our Aerial Ace be a critical hit. That works too. That was still very close, but I will take any form of a critical hit there for the win. I'm expecting it to be a little bit of a struggle when it comes to our battle against Giovanni, but I want to see if our current level could get us the win, so we jump straight in from there. Well, we are actually at level 71 because we had to fight some trainers to get to him, but you know what I mean. Giovanni starts the battle by sending out Rhyhorn. It just uses a Scare Face on Tenet, and we take it down with 2 pursuits. So far, so good. Oh, does Giovanni have a second Rhyhorn? Why did I think it would be a Rhydon? Anyway, we stick with Pursuit, but this one is tankier due to a higher level. They really like using Scary Face, don't they? We get this one to red health, but Giovanni soon heals it up with a Hyper Potion. We get the chance to attack with back-to-back Pursuits to bring it back down to a Sliver, but a Sliver means Rhyhorn still gets a chance to attack, and it hits us with another hard series of Rock Blast. 3 hits takes out a little over 100 of our HP. Thank God for leftovers here. We use another Pursuit for the knockout. Now I just hope we can get some healing done with leftovers and quickly take the rest of Giovanni's team out. Thanks to all those Scary Faces we took, Dugtrio is faster than us. Honestly, it probably only took 1 Scary Face for us to be slower than it. It hits us with a weak slash while ours is an easy one-shot. Actually, we can summarize the rest of the battle that way. Slash one-shots both Nidoqueen and Nidoking as well. Nidoqueen did poison us with her poison point, but with hits like the ones we dealt to them, poison damage doesn't really get enough time to add up. Well, look, a first try victory against Giovanni. I thought we would have to do more attempts than that for the win. Well, everything is right with the world now that we are back to easily beating the leader of Team Rocket. Still feels weird seeing Blaine giving us more trouble than Giovanni though. We are ready to tackle the Elite Four, but as most of you are aware, we have to battle our rival before getting to Victory Road. This actually took several attempts to complete, and there are several factors that can be the problem. Pidgeot's Feather Dance can really create a noticeable drop in our attack power. The damage output is pretty noticeable throughout the rest of the battle once we get past it. We can have terrible luck with Rhyhorn's Rock Blast hitting enough times to take us out single-handedly. I felt like experimenting one time and tried to see how far we could get with Fury Cutter, and we didn't miss in that series, but the damage output still isn't great thanks to the first 3 Pokemon all being resistant to bug moves. That, and there's nothing you can do to stop a critical hit Flamethrower. Eventually we have an attempt where we still get hit with a Feather Dance, but we still take Pidgeot out easy enough with Aerial Ace. Despite the decreased attack, 2 Pursuits hits hard enough to take out Rhyhorn. The big takeaway is that we are still at full health here thanks to Rhyhorn's Rock Blast missing. We switch back to using Aerial Ace when Charizard comes out, and luck continues with it being a critical hit one-shot. From here, Aerial Ace is another one-shot against Execute, and it does a lot of damage against Alakazam, but it is still standing, messes up a Disable, and goes down in the next move. Last Pokemon left for our rival is Gyarados, and now we have to suffer another attack drop due to its Intimidate. Again, the drop in attack power is obvious when you look at our attacks against Gyarados. Despite that, we continue to spam Aerial Ace since we don't really have another option, and things go pretty well. Gyarados misses a Hydro Pump, sets up a Rain Dance, and finally gets to hit us with Hydro Pump that barely deals any damage. And that was during a Rain Dance, mind you. Yeah, he goes down soon enough. Okay, that was a little bit of a hindrance, but we now have more time to prepare for the Elite Four, so let's get ourselves ready for the last leg of the game. Since this is a RedyTay challenge, we are of course worried about Lorelei. Because when am I not worried about Lorelei in these challenges? But really, she's easily the biggest roadblock left for us completing the challenge. I'm not sure how fast we can take down some of her Pokemon like Slowbro, Cloyster, and Lapras. Wait, Tena is a male Scyther, isn't he? Crap. Well, we have to worry about a track from Jinx. This is going to be rough. I'm not sure how many ice moves we can take throughout this battle, but we are going to find out soon enough. Bruno and Agatha, they don't really scare me that much. Really though, Agatha might be the most appropriate situation for us to keep Pursuit. Just try to switch your Pokemon out, Agatha. Try me. Lance is a toss-up. I know he won't be easy, but we can hit hard enough, and I think we can handle moves like Hyper Beam well enough to make that battle interesting. Before jumping into the Elite Four, let's look at Tenet's stats real quick. Loving the HP, loving the attack, and especially loving the speed. We basically need to focus on hard hitting and fast, and we luckily can take a few hits along the way. Leftovers helps out a lot here too. The special defense could be better, but it's not bad. It's above 100, and it could be much worse. I am genuinely surprised that our moveset looks like this, but at the moment I don't really know what else we could change. At the beginning of the game I felt like we would have Steel Wing, but at the moment I don't think it would be of much use here. So we're going to keep these moves and jump in to see how we look. First out of the gate for Lorelei is Dugong, and even though our first slash falls a little short of taking it to half health, the second one hits just hard enough to finish the job. All it really does during this time is set up a hail, which hurts, but our leftovers heal us enough to negate its effects. What's even better is the fact that it also hurts Slowbro as soon as it comes out. It is doing some damage to us with an Ice Beam, but Aerial Ace is doing a better job here and it goes down soon enough. Jinx is next, but isn't that strong defensively, so one Aerial Ace is all that is needed for a quick knockout. Thank God for no Attract. Lapras, as we all probably know, is stacked defensively, so an Aerial Ace hits hard, but Lapras is still in green health after. We soon get confused by Confuse Ray, but we also get Lapras to red health from another Aerial Ace. It does heal some from a berry and hits us with an Ice Beam, so we are both in yellow health here. We need to be careful. We finish off the exchange with Lapras with a slash, and all that is left for Lorelei's team is Cloyster. It does block Tenet's Aerial Ace a couple of turns with Protect, which is annoying, but at the same time it gives us some extra turns of healing with leftovers, so I'll allow it. Aerial Ace does about the same amount of damage it did with Lapras. Cloyster's first non-protect move is Hail, so there goes our extra healing from leftovers. Another Aerial Ace takes Cloyster to yellow health, and Lorelei wastes a turn having Cloyster lay spikes. I was hoping our next slash would be enough to finish the battle, but Lorelei heals Cloyster up with a full restore. From here we continue what we have been doing, and eventually we do get around to taking Cloyster to low health, just to have Lorelei use another full restore. We are wasting a lot of moves here, but we don't really have a chance. We whittle Cloyster down a third time and eventually take it down with Slash. Wow, a first try victory against Lorelei. I really thought we were going to get stalled there. Let's hope I was right when it comes to Bruno being easy. Oh yeah, totally easy. I mean, look at how little damage Rock Tomb did to us at the start when we were fighting the first Onix. All the fighting types are one-shots with Aerial Ace, and when it comes to the Onyxes, it's all about spamming Pursuit. Really quick fight. We actually lost our first fight against Agatha, and it was completely due to me misjudging how lacking Pursuit was against Gengar. We took too long with that plan and eventually got poisoned from Toxic. We were doing great in the rest of the battle, but we couldn't wrap up the battle fast enough and the poison damage soon took us out. Okay, so second attempt and we are going to be more aggressive against Gengar. Aerial Ace as an opener is a better choice here. It's hitting way harder than Pursuit, which honestly I should have thought about in our previous battle. I still use Pursuit and attempt to take it out so I can save on Aerial Ace power points, but Agatha uses a full restore. That's okay, another Aerial Ace makes a quick knockout. 2 slashes makes even quicker work against Golbat. We do have a hampered attack thanks to Arbok's Intimidate, so Slash isn't hitting as hard here. It does deal some damage with the Sludge Bomb, but we eventually get it down with 4 slashes. Second Gengar is now out, so we are back to using Aerial Ace here. Taking it to half health is a good start, and Sludge Bomb is still hurting us, but it could be worse. Well, Gengar survives the next Aerial Ace with a Sliver, knocks us into yellow health from a Sludge Bomb, and then gets healed up from Berry and a full restore. Fortunately for us, our Pursuit is a critical hit, so it's already back down to yellow health. Another Pursuit knocks it out from there. When Haunter comes out, you can tell that I spent some time trying to figure out which move I should use against it. We are running low on Aerial Ace power points here. Despite that fact, I stick with using it, and Haunter's still standing, but in very stupid AI Agatha fashion, she makes Haunter use Curse, causing it to automatically faint, allowing us to win the battle. Well, that was a really weird ending there, Agatha. That was almost a Blaine-like ending there, but of course, we are going to take that win. Diving into our battle with Lance was going well. So well that Lance thought after we beat his first Pokemon that he should send out his big gun, Dragonite, which eventually took us out with a critical hit wing attack. Let's try this again. Second attempt and we almost beat Gyarados, but then Lance switches out for Aerodactyl. I quickly found out we don't really have any good moves against this thing, and we go down easily from Ancient Power. Okay, looks like it's time to mess with against Steel Wing. So we leave the Elite Four and hurry to the Safari Zone. We find the team for Steel Wing and replace Fury Cutter with it. Because when were we ever really going to use this move? Let's get back to fighting the Elite Four and see how we look against Lance. Well, it does do wonders against Aerodactyl, but when it comes to the whole battle, we can't last long enough to take out all of Lance's Pokemon. And yes, I gave this many attempts. Probably attempted this more than I should have because I am stubborn, but eventually I did come to the conclusion that we need to grind some more levels if we want to win this. After some grinding, I get Tenet to level 80. I also had 4 power point ups thanks to having a Meowth around with a pickup ability. It's nice to have more power points for Aerial Ace and Slash. We are hitting harder here, but we just can't pull off the win, especially this one fight here. We would have won if we didn't get paralyzed at the one turn where all we needed was an Aerial Ace to finish off the last Dragonair. But no, the bad luck kept on rolling. Well, I also have 4 rare candies, so maybe that will finally give us the edge to win. At level 85, Aerial Ace is working pretty well against Gyarados. We are taking some damage from a Dragon Rage and a Hyper Beam, but we are still in the green after that, so no worries. I was worried Lance was going to switch out Gyarados here, so I switched over to Pursuit just to have it leave Gyarados with just a sliver of health. From there, Lance heals Gyarados up with a full restore. We stick with Aerial Ace here, and 2 of them is enough for the knockout. Dragonite is out next, and Slash didn't hit that hard. Wing Attack, however, is still concerning when we get hit by it. Aerial Ace has proven its worth here. Sure, Dragonite heals up some from a berry, but we also land a critical hit, so this part ends soon enough. Of course, Aerodactyl is now out, so Steel Wing is essential. It does use a Scary Face, lowering our speed stat, giving it a chance to hit us with a Hyper Beam right away. But we finish it off easily enough with just 2 Steel Wings. All that is left for Lance are the 2 Dragonairs. We hit the first one with an Aerial Ace, get paralyzed from a Thunder Wave, take some damage from Outrage, and finish it with another Aerial Ace. When the second one comes out, we waste a turn due to paralysis, take some damage from Outrage. We then repeat that process in the next turn. We luckily heal from leftovers to get out of red health, but get hit from another outrage, so we are back to red health here. We finally get a chance to attack with Aerial Ace, and Dragonair is now confused in yellow health. Despite that, it's still able to land a Dragon Rage, taking us to 13 health. Please, Tenant, do not get paralyzed here. Oh, thank God, we're not paralyzed. We get one more chance to use Aerial Ace, and it hits hard enough for the feint, finally giving us a win from Lance. That was cutting it very close, but we got there. We needed all that grinding, the PowerPoint ups, the rare candies, everything for that win. I'm hoping this is enough to beat our rival one more time. Well, Pidgeot is still a nuisance here. We take it down easy enough, but not before it uses a Feather Dance and Sand Attack to hamper our offense and accuracy. I think that is solely the reason we couldn't take Rhydon out fast enough before it took us out. Next battle is the perfect example. 2 slashes take out Pidgeot, and we have no debuffs. We then take out Rhydon out with just 2 Steel Wings. And then we get obliterated from Charizard's Fire Blast. Good grief, guys, do we have to grind more? Yeah, unfortunately we do. I gave this more attempts than I honestly should have, but eventually I came to the conclusion that we can't win the battle from here, so grinding it is. I did grind some on Victory Road, but just like my last challenge, I decided that it would be faster if we battled the Elite Four over and over. It helps save on time, it gauges how we are doing on progress, and in Generation 3 you lose less money than you did in Generation 1. And that first point was a major plus. Since during the time of recording this portion I was completely zoned into being the rival, that I wasn't doing much when it came to documenting the progress. Grinding against the Elite Four really helped me to see how we fared as we got to our rival at multiple levels, just to see that we still weren't ready to pull off the win. Really, when it comes down to it, our rival has 3 Pokemon that are major threats to Tenant, and the other 3 are relatively easy to take care of. I know that other people that would do this challenge would say that I should probably consider having a move like Swords Dance to better our attack, but honestly it wouldn't be worth it here. Our rival is putting his best guys up first and they are already swinging, so we need to be aggressive too. We had some close ones, but we just couldn't stick the landing. Pidgeot likes to hamper our accuracy and attack with Sand Attack and Feather Dance respectively. Rhydon slows us down with Scary Face and has some hard hitting rock moves, but the big one is Charizard. Fire Blast is destructive and it is hardly missing in any of these attempts. After several losses at level 85, we revisit this battle at 89. Nope, that's still not good enough. And we eventually just suck it up and get Tenant to level 95. Aerial Ace can take Pidgeot to red health, but can't knock it out. Well, there's our accuracy drop from Sand Attack. Thank God Aerial Ace never misses. Our rival fully heals Pidgeot with a full restore, but we use 2 more Aerial Aces to knock it out. Steel Wing also takes Rhydon to red health when it comes out. Since it's still standing, it sticks with lowering our speed with Scary Face. Despite that, we take it out with another Steel Wing. We are now back to Charizard and still slower than it due to Rhydon's Scary Face. What is this thing's speed? We get extremely fortunate with that Fire Blast missing, and Aerial Ace does really good here. Charizard does heal up some from a berry though, and the second Fire Blast hits hard, taking over half of Tenant's health. But thanks to the first Fire Blast missing, we have a lead when it comes to offensive strikes, so one more Aerial Ace knocks out Charizard. This is the first time we have seen the rest of our rival's team here. Hopefully we can get some chances to heal. Alakazam is of course faster than us, but only sets up a Reflect. Despite that, Aerial Ace still takes it down to yellow health. We did get back into green health from leftovers, but its Psychic brings us back down to yellow. One more Aerial Ace takes it out. Executor also takes a good deal of damage from an Aerial Ace, but it is still standing and puts us to sleep with Sleep Powder. We stay asleep for several turns, but we only get hit by 1 Egg Bomb, so we are healing the majority of this time. That and Reflect finally wears off, so this is even better. We eventually wake up, and it shouldn't be a surprise that Executor goes down to another Aerial Ace. I'm glad we were stalled some there being asleep, because now that the Reflect is gone, our attack stat won't be hindered by that and Gyarados' Intimidate. We are still a little hampered here, but we are doing alright. We get Gyarados to red health easy enough, while we take some damage from a Dragon Rage and a Hydro Pump. But just as soon as we are going to finish Gyarados off, our rival heals it up with a full restore. We whittle it back down, some with Slash, but like the rest of this run, we use Aerial Ace to deal with the final blow, beating our rival and finally becoming Pokemon champions. But we all know this run isn't over yet. We still have to see if Scyther can beat me. Oh, right, I keep forgetting that you have to do some extra stuff to get to the cave to fight Mewtwo. I'm not going to do that. We will just have to end the run here. I'm sure Scyther could pull off a win here as well. Well, that was an interesting run. Scyther's success really depends on its stats. The speed and attack really carried us here, and I would almost say Scyther is a glass cannon, but in all honesty, it took some major hits in a lot of these battles and it just kept on going. The bug is harder than I thought it was going to be. Yeah, it was a little bit of a bummer having a rather one-dimensional moveset, but the attacks did hit hard when it mattered, and critical hits are sort of Scyther's forte. I'm surprised how much we got stalled against Lance and our rival there at the end, but for the most part, Scyther could hang with the best of them for a lot of this run. Still a fan of this Pokemon. I hope you all enjoyed this challenge. For my next one, I'm going to see if you can beat Pokemon Silver with a single giraffe rig. Should be a fun run, I think, but I really haven't jumped into it yet. Anyway, thanks for watching everybody. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, and feel free to subscribe so you can be up to date when I upload more videos. Also, please leave a comment if you have more challenge suggestions or options on how I can improve these videos. I value any input you give me. Again, thanks for watching, and until next time, Geronimo.